Hello, and welcome to In Their Own Words, a regular feature of this site. I'm MD Harmon, and our guest today is Representative Kathy Chase, a Republican from Wells. Kathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into politics and why you ran for political office?
Thank you for having me. Well, I got into politics mainly because I believe in participating in life. I believe in being in part of the community around you. You're blessed with a life, and you should be part of it. And I wanted to do something special for my community. I volunteered a lot locally, and this just seemed the next level where I could help, at least at the state level.
Now, why don't you tell us something about what you feel the current session of the legislature accomplished and what you hope to see out of the next session of the legislature?
Well, I can tell you, and I've told a lot of people, I am so proud of what we accomplished this first year. We just got our act together. We were surprised, obviously, with having so much of the total majority, both in the House, the Senate, and having a Republican governor. And once we all looked at each other and said, let's get the job done, we did. And I like the fact that we worked well together. We worked with the other side of the aisle. We accomplished what I serve on appropriations, and of course we were doing the biennial budget, and there were a lot of naysayers out there that said we were never going to get the job done, we weren't going to be able to pass the budget, and we certainly weren't going to get it with 2/3 of a majority. Well, we did all that, and we did it by working really hard, being committed to what we were doing, following our agendas as the Republican on narrowing government and reforming some of the areas that we thought really needed to be re-looked at, and working with the other side of the aisle, again, listening to some of their important things that they wanted to look at and working together and compromising. I think we did health care reform, we did pension reform, we did tax reform, we looked at all those areas of policy issues that you don't normally see in a budget that much, but were there, and those are always the toughest to get through, and we did them all, and I'm very, very proud of that. I think we all worked hard, and I think at the end of the year, people looked at us and said, you know what, they can get the job done.
You mentioned you were surprised because being in the majority in the current legislative session. Why do you think Maine people just switched horses and elected Republican majorities in both houses and the governor's office after such a long period of Democratic control?
Well, I think it takes a long time to build up enough so that people start reacting. You know, people have lives, they're busy, they're not into politics for the most part. But I think the economy, the general direction that our state was going in was not what people wanted. I think they wanted to take back, to have a little more responsibility, accountability for themselves, and they wanted, I think, to have a better handle on what the state was doing. And that's why I think we were so good at listening to the people and saying to them, okay, look, we want smaller government, we want better supervised government, and we want to be able to say at the end of the day what we're spending our money on is what is worth spending our money on. And I think people finally came to, and I don't want to say wake up, they woke up or something like that, but they began to participate in life. And so they came out and they voted for those that were going to represent those issues and those ideals.
Okay. What's going to happen in January when the legislature comes back?
Well, this is going to be, I'm not going to be, it's going to be a tough year simply because it's a campaign year. Whenever, every other year when everybody's running, it gets a little tougher to kind of work with each other, and to compromise is a little more difficult. But I have great faith. Everybody there on both sides of the aisle wants to do what's best for Maine. I always believe that, and I've never met anybody I didn't believe that felt that way up there. We just have different ways of doing it. And I think that we're strong. We've come out of that first year with, I think, a lot of accolades, should have, and I think that, and respect from the other side. So I think, yes, we're going to have some issues. I think we're going to look at some more pension reform issues where we're giving some exemptions to people who are retired. I think that's on the agenda. We're certainly going to be looking at DHHS. I sit on appropriations again, and we already know that their cost of doing business keeps accelerating and getting larger, and the expansion there and what we can do about it, I think we're going to pull in. I think we can do it. I have great faith. We have a terrific appropriations committee, I think, around the horseshoe, and we're all willing to work together and are committed to it. So, yeah, it'll be tough. Yeah, we'll have our moments. Yes, it'll be a little tougher because it's a campaign year, but I think we're going to continue accomplishing great things in the second year as well.
That brings us to the end of our time. Thank you very much for being with us.